So, as you might have noticed on my social media accounts over the past few days, I have a cameo in Zombieland 2 over the end credits scene. So fun! And I'm going to make a video about the whole experience on Friday when Sony says I can finally talk about it, because it's going to include spoilers just for that end credits scene. But there are spoilers in it. Some of you found out about it a little early, and I'm honored that you wanted to spoil it online. But the little bit that's gotten out is not I'd say it's 50% of my cameo. I have a line. All right, so anyway, how do I handle reviewing the film, right? Well, obviously, there's a bit of a conflict of interest, so to be fair, I won't be submitting a tomato for this film. But as for this video right here, I decided the way I should handle it is to make a list and go over the parts of the film in the order of what I loved the most. Because of course I loved all of it. But what did I love the most about Zombieland 2? And by the way, the end credit scene isn't in contention, because obviously that is my favorite part of the movie, right? And try not to spoil it, but I do appreciate everyone's interest in it. That's made it even more fun. You guys are great. All right, so the thing I love the most, as you can see from the chapter times, I kind of gave it away. So there's spoilers in this for this what I like the most. But yeah, Zoey Deutch is first. She was amazing. Now, Zoey Deutch is the daughter of Leah Thompson and director Howard Deutch, and she's been working for almost a decade now. And you might most recently have seen her in The Politician, right? But this is her breakout role. I was amazed at how good she is here. She was such an unexpected, delightful surprise in a performance that I would say is half Alicia Silverstone from Clueless and half Marilyn Monroe. That's high praise, but I believe that Zoey Deutch deserves it. Here she plays a dumb blonde with a knowing wink to the audience. And the role is also very well written, incredibly well written. And then with Deutsch's execution, it's really comedic perfection. I loved it. I had a chance to talk to Ruben Fleischer at the junket. We touched base again because I worked with him on set. And yeah, I was like, I love it. Zoey Deutch is particularly good. And he was like, yeah, she's quite the scene stealer. So the movie knows it too. She's amazing. And then next up, Woody Harrelson. Now Harrelson, of course, has always been funny. He sometimes does drama, but he's really a funny guy. But he gets some particularly good material here, not only as a hardcore Elvis fan who finally, kind of, gets to visit Graceland, but as a surrogate father to Little Rock, which I thought was a nice but subtle play on some of the, reveals in the first film, right? They never pull too hard on the old heartstrings, but it's there. But, he wants to be Little Rock's father, but he finds himself being pushed away. Like, his reaction to when he finds out who she's dating is one of the highlights of the movie. I've seen the movie twice now. It's hysterical every time. Love it. I also, when it comes to Tallahassee, I like that he also represents, let's say, more conservative Americans in a fun and respectful way. And also, as someone who can coexist with those who don't necessarily see eye to eye with him. There's some friction, but it's always funny, and I think with heart, right? Everyone's well-intentioned, and I think that's really nice. Really nice. You have a lot of different personalities and perspectives in this movie, but it's very good-natured, and I think that's very nice. The next clever movie. The first Zombieland was also, of course, very clever. That's one of the things that helped it stand out. But this sequel, from the same team of director Ruben Fleischer and writers Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick, with David Callahan joining, ups its game. From the fun it has with the Columbia Pictures logo, so sharp the animation on that, I love it, to the American history jokes in the White House segments. I'm an American history fan, so I particularly enjoyed that. To the zombie classifications, which I really liked. Although Ninja Zombie, I would have made Batman Zombie. But I guess they can only have so many cultural references, and that is like cross studios. They have some cross studio stuff overall going on though. But not that. All right, so then to the redneck and Woodstock jokes. They've got both sides covered, red state and blue state. Pretty much the entire third act was a delightful surprise and very clever, to the end credits, right? And some really good plot twists throughout. So Zombieland 2, I think is funny and surprising. Then Albuquerque and Flagstaff. Speaking of surprising, the Tallahassee and Columbus doppelganger scene does not play out as some of you expected it to. It's long, elaborate, and extremely well choreographed. And then on that note, action! Yes, Zombieland 2 is certainly a fun movie, not just for the laughs and surprises, but because of the action. Great use of slow motion, great zombie makeup. We're going to talk about, I can't give anything away. Great use of zombie makeup, inventive camera work, including very long takes where the camera moved all over the room. I thought that really, gave an energy to those sequences, and not only, were added to the humor in them, but I think got the adrenaline pumping even more. Then Emma Stone and Jesse Eisenberg. Their relationship makes for an excellent B storyline throughout the film. And while Zombieland 2, to be fair, doesn't really push either of them as actors or comedians, it does once again highlight what top-notch comedians both of them are. From line readings to facial expressions, Emma Stone particularly is strong with the facial expressions. Both of them are true professionals every single time they're on screen. And I want to take a moment here to say I think it's particularly cool that Emma Stone came back to do this movie, even though she's at a career high point. She came back to do this right after winning her Oscar, basically, right? I think it shows she's not only, again, a professional, because it wouldn't have been the same without her. It's so great that everybody came back 10 years later, but also that she's a genuine team player and a good sport, which are fabulous qualities in anyone, in any industry. That's a great thing to be. Then next, Rosario Dawson, and I just want to say the female roles in general here. Now, while Dawson's little motel is Graceland Light, what her role is pure Dawson, right? And it's nice to give Tallahassee a love interest who can hold her own against him, because Woody Harrelson is such a strong persona. And overall, I think Zombieland 2 should be commended for excellent female roles, not just in the quality of the roles, but the different types of women it spotlights. That's rare. And I think, that, especially considering that there are no women behind the camera. And I really genuinely feel that that's an important distinction, because, I think it's important to give work to all different types of people in Hollywood, but that doesn't mean that other groups can't represent other groups well in addition. So really nice stuff. But still, even then, I have to put Abigail Breslin last. Still love her, but she's last on my list. I mean, she does a fine job, but her character mostly has things happen to her rather than does things. There's one exception to that in the third act, but even that didn't really register as something she did. Little Rock is a plot device, not a character. So that's what I loved about Zombieland 2 in order of how much I loved it. So be sure to look for my video on Friday, where I'm going to talk about all the stuff I did on set. I'm basically going to walk you through what it's like to do a cameo in a big Hollywood movie. And I got some fun stuff to talk to you about. This had all the goodies in it. A lot of fun stuff. Really a full experience. Share your own thoughts about Zombieland down below. If you have any spoilers, save them for that video, please. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you again for everyone who's been so cool about this. That's really what's made it special. And then, of course, as always, you can check out some more videos right now.